All right, welcome back. Next video in this series, how to overcome cravings, sugar addiction, and binge eating. And so definitions on this behavior: an overwhelming emotional response that happens inside of our body, which produces an undesired result. And so what triggers these things? Environment and your surroundings. So think internal and external things going on inside, but also external and the environment that you're in, right? Or low blood sugar. So we're going to cover both of those things. And so your environment and surroundings, right? Your brain is always scanning your environment. It's in fight or flight response, or if that fight or flight response is triggered and detects a threat, it's going to elicit like a negative emotional response. And so food becomes a learned behavior to comfort, soothe, and then create a safety feeling, right? And make you feel secure. And so ever since birth, right, you've either learned or were taught this. And so this can even be stronger when you're exposed to highly emotional or traumatic events. And so your 6 environments, there's the inner environment, which are your values, your beliefs, your relationship with food, with yourself and others. And then your external environment, which is the naked body, the projected body, your home, and then your work, and then anything outside of those areas, right? And we work on this with our mindset mastery method, which we'll talk about later. Or you guys should have seen in one of the videos already, but the environment cascade. And so how does all of these things tie into the cravings, or how do they trigger? And so you get inputs from your environment, either internal or external. Those inputs cause feelings or create feelings or emotions. Those emotions cause thoughts, right? Or the voice in your head, which is the self-narrative, which then therefore causes you to take action, which produces a specific result. And so your environment plays a direct role on the result, right? And so think inner environment, again, values, beliefs, relationships with yourself, food, and others, as well as the external environment, the naked body, projected body, right? Naked body being your physical self, projected body being what you view yourself as, if that wasn't clear. And then, your home and work environment. Again, think when you come, your work environment is very different typically than your home environment. When you come home, you want to have like a sense of peace and serenity, and not have like trash to take out and dishes to do or whatever. That's stressful, and those can sometimes cause triggers, or again, anything else out there in the world that is causing those triggers. And so those environments play a direct role on the result that is produced here. So inputs from environment, either internal or external, right, create emotions, feelings, thoughts. We have a self-narrative or story that we tell ourselves, which causes us to take action, producing a specific result, right, either positive or negative. And so that's how cravings typically work. Now, physiologically, your blood sugar levels, right, can cause this as well. So low blood sugars or high blood sugars. And so typically you can see the top line here. So your blood sugar swings, right? So whenever they go up or when they drop, you get a craving. So if you can have foods that are, if you guys are familiar with glycemic index, right? Lower glycemic index foods create more stable levels of blood sugar, right? So think like grapes are a high glycemic index food, but when paired with like, a protein like jerky or even cheese, it will change the glycemic load, which will actually make it more stable versus having just like a Snickers bar, which is going to create a big swing in your blood sugars if you're looking at the top here. So hopefully that makes sense. And so there's a connection, or what they call the gut-brain connection. So this is the food, or the food that we eat influences the way that we feel, and the way that we feel influences what we eat. And so I say this a lot, and you've heard me say it before, there's no such thing as good or bad food, but food that makes you feel good and food that makes you feel bad. So single ingredient foods, things that give you more energy, things that are easier to digest, obviously will make us feel better. So keep that in mind when you guys are picking which foods you do eat. Okay. And so overcoming the cravings, step 1, we want to audit our 6 environments and then reduce the threat in triggers for the cravings, right? Think relationship with yourself, your body, your food, and others. And think trajectory versus now. So what's going to, in the long run, get you to where you want to be versus what you want in the moment at this point in time. Okay. Step 2, eat a more balanced mix of carbs, proteins, and fats to keep your blood sugars level more stable, right? As I said, blood sugar roller coaster, we want to look at the total GI load, not just the specific GI index for the food. And then step 3, just chill out, right? Is it an emotional response? If so, take a minute, practice deep breathing exercises, and then settle, right? Move on and go for a walk, change your environment. Remove yourself from the situation. Cravings only last about 30 seconds to a few minutes. So I guarantee you, if you leave or change the environment and come back, it will change what you want, right? And that's trajectory versus now, right? And so identify those triggers and then create a strategy to mitigate it or to work around it. And step 4 is just manage your fatigue and sleep hygiene. get up at the same time, go to sleep at the same time, same nightly and morning rituals. Create consistency in your life because your body doesn't know whether it's Wednesday night or Sunday morning. Your routine and environment does, and the things that you've taught yourself and the behaviors that you do are dictated from that. So your body knows no difference besides what you teach it. And so this is all wired and learned behavior that can be rewired and unlearned, right? So the same old thinking produces the same old result. So it takes awareness and repetition, but if you want a new result, there needs to be new action. So hopefully this was helpful, guys. We'll see you in the next video.